Hello and welcome to the Stormguard Hedge Fleet, which I did say I was going to do this Monday, but I decided to have my dad get me at 2:30, or 2:30, and we're doing Blade versus Buffy. And yes, so Luigi is with me as well as CJ. So, I'm about to hit the play button now. If Luigi is there.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Alright, I'm hitting the play button.
Yeah.
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. They are known by many names: Revenant, Vortalok, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet, he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a
Pretty much a
blade that
Dampier.
would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong
heck
and fast
yeah.
enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the
Blade has
supernatural
been
with his
incapacitated via
hypersense.
stabbing. His
Also,
healing factor
his
has
fangs
caused
can
to
drain
impalement
his
and secondary
victims of
material like Blade. The
magical
series of
energy.
Blade the anime.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became
Yeah,
a master martial
I
artist. Yes,
don't
the
know how
Rufus from
Buffy
Street
is
Fighter
gonna even
School of
have a
Kung Fu.
chance at
While the only
fighting
martial
him.
art he's been stated to know is
Ah,
God,
they
we know
mentioned
he's mastered
Rufus.
more. So
They
for the
mentioned
full scope
Rufus
of his martial arts
Street Fighter.
ability, we'll examine the Blade
Well,
movies
suck
as
it,
performed by
babes,
Wesley
magical
Snipes.
By
sticking,
looking at Snipes'
hypersensitive
training and
mortality, regeneration,
choreography, we know
something.
Blade uses Kung Fu,
You get the
Capoeira,
idea.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate,
Oh,
and
hi,
Hapkido.
Augie. We are currently
And on Blade's
recording
neck
the
for
react for
stealthy
Blade
takedowns,
versus,
and I guess you could
Buffy.
call him Marvel's Batman.
Oh, it just started?
Yeah,
Blade's
just
training
started.
progressed smoothly until Afari was
I was gonna say,
attacked
who won?
and had his blood drained by Dracula.
we don't know yet.
Seriously,
We just
Avengers,
started.
Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything
Well,
about this? He's
My money's
right
on Blade.
there.
And I'll tell
Forced
you
to
why.
murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Swordsmanship,
Nursing
and
a
he's been around
wound
for a lot
within
of
him that
years.
would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Buffy,
Not with that
she
attitude.
fell off, so,
Blade took a
yeah.
page out of the
Well,
book of
that
Boomstick and
and-
tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon
The
imaginable.
Daywalker
He's
took
got
out Ghost
so
Rider
many,
in the
they're his
Hulk.
apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault
Yes,
rifles, and
the same Hulk
explosives
that
make up the
has
brunt
that
of his
Devil Hulk
firepower.
in him.
And he enjoys getting up
Yeah.
close and personal with his
I mean,
dual acid
yeah,
edged
I don't-
titanium
and
katana.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel,
Like,
he's got a
who-
sword
the
made out of
last Buffy
adamantium.
vampire show was
Specifically,
what, 2003
secondary
or
adamantium, a
2002 or
variant
something
of
like
the
that?
metal that is mass producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy
Like I
hitters like
said,
Ultron
she
and
fell
the
off
Hulk.
after all these
Naturally,
They
years.
just
Blade
mentioned
has
it right
even
there.
more swords. His Atlantean
There you
ones
go.
can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood.
Alright, well, I'm more
Seems
on my break,
kinda
so I'm
dumb
gonna
to turn
finish
people
watching this
into
movie and
vampires, but it does
Better
make
get
them
back to
more
work,
vulnerable to
'cause no.
Blade's arsenal.
All
One
of
of
that
these.
pales in
We'll
comparison
let
to
you
the
know who
arch
won.
weapon of hell in Blade's possession.
Alright,
The breathing gun. It is a living firearm
breathing
that
gun.
hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had
Exactly.
and fought his
What
one-man
does
war
Buffy
for
have
almost
that's gonna
100
stand up
years.
against
Battled
that?
hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like
Oh,
Miles
hi,
Morales,
Bushy.
who could absorb the energy of a bomb
We
that
just
could destroy
started.
Harlem. Blades even bested the spirit of vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with teams like the
Exactly.
Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, you know, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness, a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampire
don't-
powers, Blade finally
I
found a
don't
reason
think
to
Buffy
reconnect
has
with
this.
his daughter,
I really don't.
training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even
Even
after
with the
Blade was
amount of
possessed
comics
by the
and
first
games that
vampire
Buffy
ever
has, I
and tried
highly
to take
doubt
over the
that she's
planet,
gonna win.
Brielle put her dad's teachings
Unless
to the
they pull
test,
some bullshit
saving
out of
both
their
him
ass.
and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
Oh, goody.
Today's battle goes to
Don't care about price picks.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the
All right,
vampires,
Buffy,
the
let's see what you
demons, and
have,
the
even
forces
though
of
I
darkness.
don't think
She
you
is
got
the
this.
Slayer.
I really don't.
Thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy and Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is
Wait,
the savior of
Council and
humanity.
law
Buffy's
enforcement.
only goals in life were, in her own
Death
words,
count at
graduate
least
from high
2.
school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Donna, the president of the
Total
Third Magic
bummer.
Council.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the Valley, alright. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her
They
Scooby
put-
gang
the
will
fact they
battle
put
a
Xander's name in
series
Comic
of monsters.
Sans.
And we mean
fact they
truly
put
never-ending.
Xander's
Sure, there's
name
the TV show,
in Comic
but Buffy
Sans.
has also been slaying vampires across
Yeah,
video
they
games,
don't even
comics,
wanna care.
and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden
Yeah.
stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in
None
poison
of these
venom
are
that
gonna
can turn
work.
you to stone.
I'm
Then she's also
calling it
experienced
now,
with
none of
axes,
this
swords,
shit's gonna work on
corset,
Blade.
holy water, just about
Unless
anything.
they
You
find
said it.
some
When
way
she
to
fought
pull
an
some
ancient
bullshit
demon
out of their
unable to be
ass.
killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and, smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions,
Yes.
like the one that destroyed Scorpion's lair that's bigger
I
on the inside.
wish that
They can
was
even fight
I was
blindfolded,
making that up.
but if she is
but
injured,
alas,
she
that is
heals
a real
fast enough to
feat.
be totally
They
fine by the next episode.
burned so
One time,
hard,
Angel
the
sucked
building
out
collapsed.
almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic
The
makes her
context
weirdly
of that
resilient
is
to esoteric
insane.
attacks. Like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed
God
herself
damn it,
to
Boomstick.
save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence! This absolutely crushed Buffy, and ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons,
God
she had to
damn
head
it.
up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses,
Okay,
and
so yes,
destroyed
we
the
also
Sword of
fought
Sonic,
Dracula
which caused
and
the Great
defeated
Haunted
him.
Earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have
Great.
defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the
They had
Tunguska
to
explosion,
resurrect her.
which destroyed over 2,000 square
Like,
kilometers
come on,
of
you-
forest. Or the
there was a
Sorrow Demon,
perfect
which
ending,
caused a storm
and
that
they were
blanketed
like,
Los Angeles.
"Sigh!"
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and
no,
took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the first evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The, Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche,
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons. The scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality
don't
in the
know
process.
what that
Even
symbol
Silas,
means.
the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the first evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from her. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her
We're currently
stylish
reacting to
little
Buffy
boots,
versus...
you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
I apologize for using the
Hey,
word broad.
as you know, it's Skeletober.
Don't get it.
October. Okay, let's just get to the...
And we've run the
All
data
right.
through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
Live action round 3, let's go. Are we gonna have some form of, the pump panel thing? Or not? Okay, and there's the Daywalker.
We were kings, long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight, we feast.
Daywalker.
And she... That's just the start.
Just took a shotgun.
Yeah? We have some form of the pump panel.
Oh, hell yeah! Yeah, making vampires is definitely a play to make movie. Wait, was that Chad?
Who knows?
Was that Chad in a cameo?
Who knows, but damn.
I don't know, it kind of looks like him.
Other than the hair. That's about it.
Nah. There's the breathing gun.
Wait!
And this is how they fight.
Shoot's just a kid!
Not anymore. Nice spin with clean.
Yeah, it was.
You out your damn mind?
Amateur hour.
There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Moving the sunglasses around. This is insane. Oh, the bullet got her. Now the clock is ticking.
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
Oh, but the sword play is a massive in this.
Ooh. This is intense. Oh no. There's the bullshit coming out of her ass. What? That's some bullshit! Explain!
They will. How about just wait?
It's like you got ahead of yourself.
KO! To be Blade tenured no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up,
Okay.
stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse-devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on
Well,
things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I'm not
Next
mad.
time
All right,
on
what's
Death
next?
Battle.
Dante
Dante?
versus Clive Wasfield.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Dante versus Clive. Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Dante versus Clive.
They're bringing Dante back.
Devil May Cry versus Final Fantasy?
15, yep. Or
16,
sorry.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
time it's Devil May Cry 5 Dante.
But I will
Devil
say
Trigger
this.
versus the dominance of Ifrit.
Oh my god.
Well, I gotta say this. For the fight.
It was...
How that fight went, honestly, I saw that going one of two ways. Blade winning or Buffy winning. Either way, it's a good matchup. They actually did do more research into what was going on. Meaning, because of all the bullshit weaponry they both had, we can actually say this was a fair fight.
So this one was rather close.
Yeah, and exactly. And it can go one of two ways. Remember, the multiverse exists. So there's a universe where Blade won. So on. Or maybe they solved their differences. You never know.
Or they just managed to get each other at the same time.
Also, I
That is
kind of
also
forgot
possible.
to turn you
That's
up
the
there,
glory
Bushy,
of the
because,
multiverse.
yeah. You're from yesterday with the background noise, so my bad. But what Bushy said,
Here.
it was rather close.
There's a multiverse that either
There's a
side has won,
multiverse for
or
anything.
both have won, or neither have won.
I mean, take for example, fucking Kratos versus Asura. There was a multiversal headcanon. Kratos won the normal
Mhm.
one, and in the multiverse, Asura won. And Kratos got his wish.
Well, I even
He
got
was finally put to rest to
I
be with his
got-
family.
I got Noah's attention. The moment I mentioned, I literally was like, Dante versus Clive, Devil May Cry versus Final Fantasy 16. Oh shit!
There he is.
Yep, he's like, he's
Yeah.
coming back. Oh shit!
Hey, I hope I really hope Death Battle actually get freaking Ben to come back to reprise Clive.
I'm hoping,
We'll see.
but yeah. But yeah. So that was the death battle. Did you put the clothes on the dryer yet? Not yet, Mom. I'm gonna get that. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Sorry, Mom was talking to me. But yeah, this was wow. This actually didn't piss me off as bad. Sure, I lost the bet because I was betting on Blade, thinking he would win. But if
But I mean,
if anything, it actually shocked me that there was a lot more shit to Buffy than I realized, because I hardly watched
Yeah.
the series.
The thing is
that-
that you
look
don't
at
have
the
to watch the
research
series to
requirement.
know what the fuck's going on with Buffy. You can tell that
Mm.
how long it's been around, there's going to be more bullshit than what Blade has.
So
They've been around quite a while, I can say that. But I will say this: hey, at least they did good more research this time around.
yeah,
Oh,
It's
yeah,
always
yeah.
important to do your research ahead of time.
yeah, and the
It's like
fact that they
doing research on everything.
they actually dug deep into Buffy's lore more than what I initially thought there was. I thought there was just the TV series and the 2 comic book runs. Nope, there was a lot more. A lot
Yeah.
There were
There was the
more.
TV series,
Over
comic books,
500
animated series.
500. Over
Yeah,
500
we know,
novels.
Luigi.
So yeah,
We
this
know
one-
there was over
so
500
yeah,
comics.
in the end, this one didn't really piss me off. This one just left me shocked. if anything.
Plus,
And this one,
and plus, I have to admit though, the choreography, the fight choreography was actually quite good.
Oh yeah, and the
Hey,
fact
like-
they referenced the greatest fucking song from the greatest fucking movie in some capacity is Chef's Kiss.
What?
Mhm.
The Blood Rave theme.
Explain.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean Freebird? Got it.
No, you silly goober. Pump
Explain.
Panel's
Damn
remix
everything
of
else.
New Order's Confusion.
No.
I had
Screw
to
that.
be a
Not
meme.
Anyways.
the hell with that. How to Blade leave?
I think this
The
has more bullshit.
scythe from Buffy. The scythe that can literally cut through fucking
Anything.
Wolverine's adamantium.
And it also
Yeah.
didn't help that her ship was laced with Gorgon venom. Something that Blade
How?
couldn't.
Which is
Something Blade
extremely.
couldn't. Something Blade couldn't counter. But the
Gorgon venom is extremely potent, strong enough to take down even someone as strong as Blade. Hell, even Thanos can be taken down with a bit of Gorgon venom. It's very potent.
but in
They
terms
do
of
tell like
the battle itself, it was actually rather close.
I thought he was
So
gonna
I do
win.
gotta- I do got to say this. Blade's weaknesses are well documented throughout the comic books, the movies, and they don't mention Gorgon venom because what do they not have in their universe? Right?
Gorgon venom. Simple.
Kind of like how Thanos versus
So-
Darkseid
They don't
happened. What doesn't exist in the
Yeah.
DC universe?
I mean, they're...
The Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. Gotta get back to work.
All right. Well, I'm getting ready to wrap up this. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for Dante versus Clive, mainly because I love both Final Fantasy and well, Devil May Cry. Even though I've not played, I have yet to play Final Fantasy 16. I'm definitely going to be intrigued.
We both need to play that at some point.
I'm definitely going to be intrigued by the amount of lore that Clive has. So that's going to be my homework, is at least learning a bit about Clive.
Just remember, people, if you don't win in one universe, there's always the multiverse. Just remember, Kratos versus Asura. Kratos got his happy ending in a different universe.
Well,
It always changes somewhere.
At least with
Remember
Kratos versus Asura, they showed both sides.
That's what I'm saying.
By the way,
The multiverse has its
in
ways.
in our case, this conversation where I'm being the voice of reason and going like, yeah, I mean, this is good and all, could possibly happen in half of them.
But
And a good like
we
maybe
don't know.
5%. I'm like, the fuck, Blade should have won.
which is what I was at first, and then I ended up getting completely bamboozledly shocked by how much shit she had.
Yeah. Anyways, let's not drag this on as much.
Yeah, because I
as much
still
more
gotta.
there, bud.
Yeah, because I gotta do stuff. So,
You-
anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Till then,
Hey.
Captain Stormguard Hedgewolf sign off. So see you in the next video.